Good morning, students. Welcome to your computer lecture. I request all the students to kindly remove their workbook and a pencil. Now, students, in the last chapter, we studied about the uses of a computer and we saw the various fields and various sectors where computers are used. Few examples we saw, a few things that we looked at: playing games, listening to music, watching movies were the entertainment part of the computer usage. Then we checked about vacation planning and so on and so forth, weather forecasting, right? So today we will begin with a new chapter and we will try to understand how to use the parts of the computer. So I request all the students to kindly open their workbook to page number 25, chapter number 4, using the keyboard. I'm sure we all are ready by now, students. So let me ask you, we all know what a keyboard is, right? Great. Now look at the pictures below and try to identify the parts of the computer. So let us see the first picture. Come on, students. What is the first picture? Right. It is a monitor. The second? Great. It's a CPU. And the third one needs no introduction, right? We all can say it's a keyboard. Great. So that's what the introduction part says. Let's read. You have already studied about the different parts of a computer. Do you remember them? Identify the following parts of the computer. So we have already identified the parts. The first picture is of a monitor. The second is the CPU. And the third is the keyboard. Right. So this is how you will write. Alright, so let's understand the usage of keyboard in this chapter. We will continue to read. As studied earlier, a keyboard is a rectangular in shape. The keyboard is one of the main parts of a computer. It is connected to the CPU with a wire. There are many keys on a keyboard. The keys on a keyboard are used to type numbers, letters and symbols on a computer. Generally, a computer keyboard has 104 keys. So in this paragraph, it's telling us that we have already studied what a keyboard looks like, what is the shape. Right, students? We have been to a computer lab and we have used keyboard. The shape of the keyboard is rectangle. It's rectangular in shape. And it is one of the main parts of the computer. It is also known as one of the input device. Why input device? Because we use the keyboard to type numbers, letters, symbols on a computer in the form of text, numbers, symbols, special characters, right? We input the data, hence it is known as a input device. And the last line says a computer keyboard has 104 keys. How many keys? 104 keys. Remember this. So if you turn our page, we have some color combination. Let us read. A keyboard can be divided into three main parts. The first part, alphabet keys, which is in blue or purple we can say. Then we have number keys, which is in orange or light red. Then we have special keys, it's in green. So a keyboard is divided into three main parts. alphabet keys, number keys and special keys. If you see in the picture, let's take a closer look of the picture. So if you see, students, the keyboard is divided into three main parts: alphabet keys, number keys and special keys. You see the color combination? Alphabet keys are in purple, the number keys are in red, and special keys are in green. Like alphabet keys, we will study them as we proceed further. Now, this is just for your knowledge, students. Since we are in standard first, I would not want you all to give more details, but this is just for your information, for your knowledge. Look at this. These are additional keys or additional details of the keyboard. Like we also have escape keys and then the function keys. Take a look on this picture. So we will study what are the special set of keys. What are alphabet keys, number keys, special keys. We will continue to learn this. So let us study about the different types of keys in detail. So the first one is the alphabet keys. Now we all know what alphabet is, right? Alphabet consists of letters from A to Z. So alphabet keys contain letters from A to Z. You can type letters, words and sentences with the help of the alphabet keys. There are 26 alphabet keys in total. By default, the alphabets are entered in lowercase. So students, here it says alphabet keys consist of letters from A to Z. Right? We all have studied in our pre-primary A to Z. So that's the alphabet keys. There are 26 keys or 26 letters. Right? Now there's the last line again. By default, the alphabets are entered in lowercase. So no matter which type of keyboard it is, whenever you start typing, all the letters will appear in lowercase. Now see a note here. The alphabet keys are not placed in alphabetical order on the keyboard. Right, we all have seen the keyboard structure, the placement of the keys. Ever wondered why the keys are not placed in sequence? Here the note also says the alphabet keys are not placed in alphabetical order. Ever thought why the keys are not placed in alphabetical order? When the alphabet starts from A, B, C, D, then why the keys are placed starting from Q, W, E, R, T, Y? Why it is so random? Let me answer. I'm sure, students, we all have seen a typewriter, or we all know what a typewriter is. If not, I will show you the picture. Take a look. This is how a typewriter looks like. Now if you see closely, students, you see on the keys, the keys are randomly placed. It again starts with Q, W, E, R, T, Y, Q or T. Now why this happened? Earlier we had placed these keys in the alphabetical order. Now in a typewriter, as soon as you press any key, there is a mechanical arm that punches the letter on the paper. So when we were using the typewriter to type the text or any information while the keys were arranged in alphabetical order, the typing was so fast that the mechanical arms gave wrong input. As soon as the human input was so fast that machine could not respond to that, due to which lot of errors were taking place. So there was a person, was a French mathematician. He came up with the idea of placing the keys on a keyboard randomly so that the typing can be reduced and the text could be without any error. That is why the same pattern has been taken over and the keys on the keyboard are randomly placed. So again, the alphabet keys consist of letters from A to Z. Let's read further. We have number keys. Number keys contain numbers from 0 to 9. You can type phone numbers, roll numbers, age, dates, etc. with the help of the number keys. There are two sets of number keys present on the keyboard. One is placed above the alphabet keys and the other is on the right side of the keyboard. As you can see in the picture, students, there are two sets of number keys. Numbers, we know, numbers consist of 0 to 9 and followed. So on the keyboard we have two sets of number keys. One is just above the alphabet keys and the second one is on the right side of the keyboard. We all have seen this, right, during our practical sessions. We remember during your pre-primary standards when you used to come to the practical lab, you used to type tables, right? You remember? Great. So we type numbers with the help of these number keypads. To show you an example, this is how a number keypad looks like. This is known as the number keypad. So remember, if you go back to if you see on your number keypad, the first row where you see numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, on top of them you see there's a small signs. Can you identify few of them? Take a look and see if you can remember any of these special signs. Right? The dollar sign, which you may remember, the percentage symbol, which you may identify, the and sign, the open bracket, closed bracket. Right? These are special symbols. So remember, number keys consist of numbers from 0 to 9 and there are two sets of number keys on the keyboard. One is above the alphabet key and one is towards the right side of the keyboard. Alright? Now we have a practice time. Let's see what it says. Color the alphabet keys that form your name in yellow. Similarly, color the number keys that form your roll number in pink. Alright, so here it's telling us to color your individual name. So now students, what you will do is, with the help of your parent, try to color your name in yellow. Now when it comes to your roll numbers, I'm sure due to online education we have not assigned roll numbers. However, for your practice, you may try coloring the roll number of your senior KG. Right? So color your name in yellow and color your roll number in pink, the roll number of your senior KG. So this is your homework. In the blank space, you write your name and your roll number, and in the picture, you color it accordingly. Your name will be with yellow and roll number in pink. Let us continue. Cursor keys. There are 4 arrow keys to move the cursor on the screen. These keys are known as the cursor keys or arrow keys. The cursor keys move the cursor up, down, left and right. We all have seen these 4 direction keys, students. right? In our practical sessions, we have used these keys. What are these keys known as? The arrow keys or the cursor keys. So remember, next time, if anyone or during our practical sessions, if I tell you or if anyone tells you where are the cursor keys, so you should be able to know these 4 keys are also known as the arrow keys or the cursor keys. Why the cursor keys? Because these keys helps us to move the cursor in the required direction. Left, right, up, down. Either of the direction we can use these keys. So these are known as the cursor keys. Remember, the arrow keys are also known as the cursor keys. Let us turn our page. The further keys, the next one is the function key. The function keys form the topmost row of the keyboard. They contain keys from F1 to F12. There are 12 function keys and each key performs a different function. Right? As the name indicates, function keys. So these keys are specifically designed to perform some particular function. Now you will learn what are these function keys and what are the uses of the functions of these keys in your higher standards. This is now for you all to know what those keys are called as. So remember, F1 to F12, which you see on your keyboard, are known as function keys. Okay, you all have seen this on your keyboard, like F1, F2, F3 till F12. These are known as the function keys. Now what are special keys? Special keys perform special functions. Some of the special keys include spacebar, enter, backspace, delete and caps lock. Let us learn more about them. So special keys again, you all have seen these keys like spacebar key, the enter key, backspace, delete, caps lock. Then we have shift, tab, CTRL, right? We all have seen these keys on a keyboard. Now let's try to understand what are those keys and what are their functions. So the first one is the spacebar key. The spacebar key is the longest key on the keyboard. It is used to insert space between letters, numbers and symbols. For example, when writing a sentence, press the spacebar key to separate the words. Right, as the name again indicates, spacebar. So this key is used to provide space between two words, letters or numbers or your text, sentences, anything it could be. The longest key on the keyboard, there's only one longest key on the keyboard and one spacebar key. Right? In your example, you can see without using the spacebar key, it is difficult to read what it is or what is written. And when you see on your right, with the spaces, it becomes easier to identify and read the words. It's written, I like drawing. So what is the use of the spacebar key, students? It is used to insert space between letters, numbers, symbols, words, sentences, anything. The next is the enter key. The enter key is used to move to a new line. You can also start writing a new paragraph using the enter key. It is also known as the return key. The enter key is also used to submit a command. For example, you may use this function when using a search bar. To do this, enter the text to be researched in any search bar and press the enter key. So what is the enter key, students? It has two functions. The first one, it helps us to bring the cursor to a new line. Right? We can bring the cursor down with the help of the enter key. You can see it in your example. It says, I like drawing, I also like dancing. Now this two sentences are written in one line without using the enter key. And in your right side, you see the same sentence in two lines. Right? As in your notebook or in your workbook, when you finish your line or when you reach the end of the line, you automatically come to the next line. However, in computers, if you want to bring the cursor automatically, it will. As soon as you continue typing, the cursor will come to the next line automatically. However, if you want to forcefully or manually bring the cursor down to begin a new line, we press the enter key. You see in the first sentence, I like drawing, there's a full stop. Then we pressed the enter key and we wrote the new sentence. I also like dancing. That is using the enter key. Now as I told you all, there's second usage of enter key as well. The enter key is also known as the command key. Why? Because this key helps or gives command to the computer to identify or perform the particular function. Now down we have an example of, let's say we want to search for something in Windows itself or on the internet. You want to search for something. You type in whatever your information that you're looking for, and then to complete or to proceed further, we press the enter key so that the computer can fetch or look for the information that I or you as a user wants to find out. This is how an enter key looks like. We all have used this key. Remember, this key is known as the enter key. The enter key helps us to get the cursor to the next line. It also acts as a command or give the command. Let us continue further. The next key is the backspace key. We will read both these keys, students, backspace key and delete key. It will be easier for us to understand the difference between these two keys. So let's read the first one. Backspace key. Just as you see an eraser to rub without mistakes, the backspace key is used to erase letters, numbers and symbols. It erases any text that is on the left side of the cursor. Delete key. Similar to the backspace key, the delete key is also used to erase letters, numbers and symbols. However, pressing it removes the character typed on the right side of the cursor. So pay attention, students. As we have erasers, we all know we use eraser to erase or correct our mistake. Similarly, in computers, we have two set of keys which acts as an eraser. The first one is the backspace key. Now, backspace key helps us to erase any typed letter, number, text, word, sentences, anything that we may want to erase. See in your example, it's in the picture below. You see, look at that a hat, right? If you want to see, this is an error that we've typed. Now the cursor is in between letter A and letter H. As soon as you press the backspace key, the letter to the left side of the cursor will be erased. See the backspace key, left side of the cursor, here is the cursor suggested, the A has been moved and the cursor moved towards the left. Now in the delete key, which is similar to the backspace key, the delete key is also used to erase letters, numbers and symbols. However, pressing it removes the character type to the right side of the cursor. Remember this, backspace key, like the backspace key, left side of the cursor, delete key, right side of the cursor. See in the example, it's the same example. However, as soon as you use the right or the delete key, the character towards the right side of the cursor gets deleted or erased. So this is the difference between the two keys. The functions are the same. It helps us to erase any error typed in the form of letter, number, text. However, the major difference, backspace key deletes the left side of the cursor, delete key erases the right side of the cursor. Right? Keep this in mind, students. Look at this picture, students. We have both the keys on the keyboard. The one highlighted in blue is the backspace key and the one in purple is the delete key. This is for you as an example. Let's continue to read further. The caps lock key. The caps lock key is used to type capital or small letters. Pressing the caps lock key will turn on the caps lock function. This allows you to type only in all capital letters. Pressing the caps lock key again turns off the caps lock function. So now you can type letters in lowercase. So the caps lock key is used to type the letters in uppercase. Now the caps lock key, students, will only work for the letter keys or the alphabet keys. We can choose to type in small letters or in uppercase letters depending upon our requirement or the user. Now as soon as you press the caps lock key, now we've already studied, students, by default all the letters are in lowercase. Whenever you start typing or entering text, you will have the letters in lowercase. However, if you want the letters to be in uppercase, we simply press the caps lock key. This is how we can identify. I have circled the picture. You see there is a light indicator and there is a capital A below the light indicator. So as soon as you press the caps lock key, the light goes on so that we can understand that the caps lock key is on and all the letters will start appearing in capital letters. As soon as you press the caps lock key and the light switches off, the letters will come back in lowercase. You can see an example below. The word keyboard is written without the caps lock key off. So the caps lock key is off and the word keyboard is written all in lowercase. And when the caps lock key is on, all the letters on the keyboard is in capital. So just to quickly summarize what we learned, students, we saw different types of keys, parts, keys, right? Alphabet keys consist of letters from A to Z. Number keys contains letters from 0 to 9. Then we saw some special keys like the cursor key, function key, special keys, enter key, backspace key, delete key, caps lock key. These are few special keys on the keyboard. Let's continue. Now try to understand how we type text or typing text. Now that you know the various keys on the keyboard, let us practice typing. With the help of your teacher, open the Notepad application on the computer. Type the following words in Notepad using the alphabet and number keys. Right, students, now here it's telling us to practice. Now, since due to the pandemic, as we know, we are doing online or e-learning sessions. So as soon as we have a practical as usual, we will try using the Notepad application and entering text. We all have done this during our pre-primary sections as well. I'm sure you remember or you recollect typing 2-letter words, 3-letter words, tables, myself. You remember that? Great, I'm sure few students may remember. However, we will still continue to type or use the application and type using the combination of the keys. This is just as an example. It's giving us the words or given us the words to type in the Notepad application. Now students, those who have computers at home, I request you try this practical session, and the ones who don't have, it's okay students, we will do this in our practical lab. I have on the next page also, it says, if you see in the first picture, it's given as the words. Then in the second picture, it's given as the sentences. And in the third picture, it's the combination of both words and sentences. So we will practice this. Use or what it is telling us to do in practice. This is an example that I have drafted or I have prepared for you. You see on the top right, let me show you. See here, it's written Notepad. This is the Notepad application, and I have written down few sentences, the instructions, right? There's one more application that can be used. It's known as the Microsoft Word, which has many other features. See here, these are all features. We will continue or we will learn the details about these applications in your higher standards. However, for now, we just have to understand the different keys on the keyboard which we use in our day-to-day lives, so that if someone gives us instructions, we know which keys they are talking about and which keys we need to use. And also, when you're using a keyboard, it is also important to know the functions and the keys on the keyboard so that we can use the keyboard to its optimum use. So with this, students, we complete our chapter using the keyboard. Now it's the time for the exercise. Now students, important instruction again. I will send you the answers. You have to write the answers in the blanks provided. You have to complete all the sections, like fill in the blanks, match the following, then identify the types. You have to complete all the sections. I will send you the answers of all the sections, and with the help of your parents, please complete the notes accordingly. Until our next lecture, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for listening. Thank you once again. Have a nice day, students. Stay healthy and stay safe.